at this whole morning when we're conducting that poll to show or to ask you that very important question: what do you know about your partner before you get married, especially when it comes to finances? Let's take a look at the poll and the question that we posed to you and where it stands right now. Remember, there's a number of hours left that you can do. We're asking you the question: should you check your partner's credit record before marriage? So far, we have 173 votes in. There's 21 hours left to vote now. 69% of you, almost 70%, are saying that you should check your partner's credit record before marriage, and 31% are saying no way. That's probably all the ladies are saying no, I'm sure. But let's hear it from you. You can let us know what's on your mind. Let's take a look at some of your comments coming through on the question: should you check your partner's credit records before you get married? Is there any comments as yet, refreshed ones, so we can put it up or not? We'll come back to them in a short while if it's not up as yet. So it's the month of love, where many men will go on their knees and ask the ones they love to marry them. Here's one of the tweets that says from Unati: yes, you must check someone's credit record, otherwise you will get into trouble. Hashtag credit record married for life. Lucky Malachi says no. It is totally intrusion and inconsistent. Hashtag marriage. Are you looking for marriage or are you looking for finances? Married life comes with all these matters. You need to deal with it as you go along. Sipo says, sir, after doing a checkup, that's where you'll know whether a person you are married to is taking you forward or backwards. Sipo. Lucky says, first, marriage, later deal with whatever the burdens or the difference you both have. Remember, money is the root of all evil. The love of money, as Kendall pointed out, Lucky a little earlier. So keep them coming. We'll read those comments as we continue. Now, the real question is today: how well do you know your future spouse's financial habits, especially if you plan to marry them without a pre-nuptial contract? Do you know what that is? How much debt do they have? Over-indebtedness here in this country, impaired credit records, reports, and bad financial habits have the potential to choke your marriage to death. The Credit Ombud advises consumers on the advantages of understanding each other's finances. Now, for more on this, we are joined here in studio by the Credit Ombud's Salem Nolubabalo Dyafta. A very good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, you see that we're conducting this poll. What do you make of that, first and foremost? As you can see, the majority are saying yes, they need to check it out.
Yes, look, it's very important because in as much as some people say, are you looking for marriage or are you looking for money? But money is a big part of the marriage. I mean, you guys are responsible for everything now in the household. There's going to be children. Imagine now you are married to this person and you guys now want to go and buy a house. And all of a sudden, then they do that whole credit check and then, oops, somebody's blacklisted. Yes. And now we can't move forward. What now? So that is why we're actually saying, as unromantic as it is, okay? I mean, I can't imagine a lady saying, when you bring that ring, yes, bring it wrapped around a credit report. But I mean, it is very important to understand what your spending habits are. Yes. One person can look great, they can dress well, drive a nice car, but you don't know how they fund that particular lifestyle. Are they living debt to debt on a monthly basis? Are they paying their accounts well? Are they in default every month? What is really happening? It's not to say you are intruding on the person's financial status, but you're trying to understand from here going forward, how are we going to manage this? Because it's usually unfair when the one person comes all clean and ready and the other person is just bringing all this baggage that you're not even sure how to deal with.
Talking about that baggage, a bad credit record, how does it affect an individual?
Well, it affects your future in terms of applying for credit. Yes. Let's say, for example, you have a clothing account or a cell phone contract. When you pay on a monthly basis, or when you skip, or when you pay late, or when you don't make a payment. All of that is recorded every month in the credit bureau in the form of what is called a credit report. And we see it in the complaints that we get in the Credit Ombud's office, where consumers would come and say, we've recently gotten married, we want to buy a house, but my wife or my husband is blacklisted, therefore we are unable to. Because the way you conduct your previous or your current accounts is actually affecting what's happening in the future. So that's how it affects you. When you want to do big purchases, it then becomes a problem and it hinders you going forward.
Now, if you want to check out your spouse's credit record, how do you go about doing that? Because that's personal information, isn't it?
You need their consent. You definitely need the consent. You can't go and check somebody else's credit profile without them giving you permission. So we always saying is, discuss this, do it together. Draw your credit report, I draw mine, we sit here and we say, okay, this is what you have, this is what I have. It looks like you are on the verge of trouble here. How do we fix this in order for us to move forward?
And you have to fix that first before you even get married, because after that it will be combined, the two records together, isn't it?
Correct. It's both our responsibility going forward. So if we don't fix it, look, some of the problems are not really that big. And it's up to the couple, really. But we're saying that look at what you need to fix. You can't fix what you don't know.
So, and you can't go behind the person's back to do that either.
No.
So, I can't come to you and say, listen, I want this person credit record. I really like this person, but I'm not too sure about her. But I don't also want to let her know that I'm checking out.
You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You are not going to get it from the credit bureaus. You do need the permission of the person to actually draw their profile.
There is not just one credit bureau. There's a couple of them. But yes, so you have to get credit records from all of them?
So consumers are entitled to one free report every 12 months. Every 12 months you are entitled to get. There are about 14 registered credit bureaus in South Africa.
My goodness.
Yes. We have 4 main credit bureaus where consumers can actually go and draw the credit report. Otherwise, they can go to the Credit Ombud website and get the details from there as to where to get the credit profiles.
Now, what is your advice then to consumers moving forward when they've now taken that step and they don't enter into that pre-nuptial agreement? And explain the pre-nuptial agreement so people can understand that too.
All right. Basically, you know, there are people who get married and what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours, your debt is my debt, and.
Yes.
Some people enter and say, whatever we come with, whatever you come into the marriage with before we sign, is yours and it's mine. But when we are in the marriage, it's jointly ours. All right? So especially even if you enter into a prenup, you have a contract signed. Point is, we are living together. Your debt will affect me. My debt will affect you. It's only when people get divorced, then we say, whatever you incurred is yours before we got married. But the point is, while we are living together, how are we conducting these accounts and debt? So the advice that we give is, you can't fix what you don't know. Get that credit report. Be open about your finances. Be open about what happens in the credit bureau. You might afford, but you might not be paying them well. You might be paying late. You might say, I forgot this account, I'll pay double next month. Not realizing that it's affecting you negatively and it's dropping your credit score. So that's why it's important. It's not just about affording, but it's about understanding what is happening and how do we fix it? How do the scores look like? So that tomorrow, when we want to do things jointly, we can be able to.
Is love getting perhaps too complicated before you get married? Because it seems like now you have to bring your credit reports, your medical reports and everything else, and it clouds the entire, this romantic thing that we put together.
Look.
Or is it the reality check?
I want to say that it's reality because we've seen marriages being choked to death by debt, till death do us part. You know, we've seen that. So we are saying, rather than going in blindly, and then you are there and you're so overwhelmed because now you have all these expectations and nothing is coming into reality, rather check up front. So yes, it sounds like it's complicated, but it is reality. You either face it or you don't.
Just briefly, people that find themselves now in that position already, how do they assist themselves and who can help them?
Well, we see a lot of complaints coming through to the Credit Ombud for advice or to investigate, because sometimes you find that whatever situation you're in, sometimes it's not really your doing. Sometimes you are overcharged interest, or the debt has prescribed, or whatever the issue is. That is why we actually take on those cases and problems as the Credit Ombud's office to actually investigate and see how we can help couples who are going to enter into a marriage or are already in the marriage and in the problem, to see how we can actually assist them with their credit-related or credit bureau-related matters.
Where do they get hold of the Credit Ombud?
They can SMS the word help and their name to the number 44786, or they can send us an email to ombud@creditombud.org.za, or they can call us if they prefer, 0861 662 837.
I think that's the easier ones. Thank you so much for joining us here
Thank
in
you for
studio.
having me.
That was the Credit Ombud, Salem Nolubabalo Dyafta.